My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. The name given me when I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, was Peggy Ann Dempsey, and I married a Childers. They gave me the name of a twin, Peggy, and the other twin, Carl, and both twins were dead, killed by their mother. They were born out of wedlock, and I grew up in a family that were so sick and vile. But then look at all the people who have done this. I was born in 39, kidnapped in 41, and the press has known it all along, but it's controlled by the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and quite frankly, people don't care. I just heard the reason for this tape now, video, is I'm watching CBS. I'm going to turn this. CBS has had Caroline Kennedy on there, and of course, the Kennedys had kidnapped me. Joe Kennedy was ambassador to Great Britain in 36 to 46, and he helped my Uncle George, who became the illegal George VI, and Rockefellers, Rothschilds, President Roosevelt. This is a meeting with my uncle and Roosevelt in 39, the year I was born. This is my father, Edward VIII, the real Edward VIII, and all of this was a lie about him. This is the double. That was used to marry Wallace Simpson, and they became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Total lie. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Windsor. All legal. She was American Catholic, Irish. By the way, one of the reasons that Joe Kennedy and the Kennedys couldn't have, they had to destroy my father with lies, and history hasn't been, nothing about the truth. It's never been corrected after all these years. Joe Kennedy's Catholic and Irish. My mother is Catholic, Irish, American, or was. I'm sure she changed her religion to the Church of England. But I'm not even allowed to say my name, even today. I'm almost 75. All these years, every moment has been a living hell, psychological, chemical. It's strange what people can do when they can get away with it. You see what Americans really are. CBS, all these, the media here, I found out in 83 about my kidnapping and my real name. The media knew it before me. I can't for the life of me. This morning on CBS, I've just been watching it on their morning show, and they were saying that Caroline was, how did they refer to her? Miss Ambassador. You know what her brother, and I can't even say my name, and I'm treated like a bug to be squished on the floor. Her brother, John, came up the Appalachian Trail. I came to Roanoke in October of 86, and I was shut down. I resorted to going on the Appalachian Trail and living. And when I could get a tent, I did, finally, and a sleeping bag. But I froze and starved with everybody around here knowing and unwilling to help me. I was up on you had to go to the old trail, Alpha and Omega, I'm told, because the new one hadn't been built. I think it was built in spring of 93. Anyway, this was in early 93, before the new trail was built. So it's the old trail up from Mountain Pass, which is 1.5 miles to get up to Fullheart Knob Shelter. It's a lean-to where the hikers go. Well, I lived there on and off and was run and all this. Nobody wanted to hear of what was being done to me. Um, they were told not to help me. And when the time come that they could hurt me, they sure all got in on that. But back to then, I had spent the winter up there, and it was getting spring. And up the old trail comes um, um, it looks like John Kennedy and another guy with him. John comes up there, and I said to him, I said, "You look like John Kennedy." He says, "Well, I am." Well, I didn't know whether to believe him or not because I had seen a couple of other people up there that looked similar to somebody else, like, well, without getting into the couple that looked like somebody else, not really, but kind of enough that you could see the resemblance. But this really looked like them, and it was. It was his buddy that goes with him back then everywhere. Well, he laughed and he said, "I just wanted to come up here and see how you were living." And I proceeded to tell him what I knew about what his father and his grandfather Joe had done to me and been part of the kidnapping. Well, it was a joke to him. He wanted to come up and see how I was doing, so he hopped on a plane, I guess from Boston, to get off at Roanoke, and he put on a backpack, he and his buddy, and they walked from Mountain Pass Road, the old trail, up 1.5 to where I was just to get a good look and laugh at me and see what they had done to the real monarch. And I want to say somewhere in all of this, there's got to be somebody that didn't find humor in it and didn't think it was okay to do all this to me. I mean, they have beat me from day one, and I'm 75, and it's never stopped. But I don't remember now. I remember it was July the 16th, and I had gone back to Atlanta. Now, I don't know if this is 99. I'd have to look back and see, or 98. But John Kennedy's plane went down in the ocean. He was flying to wherever his home, Hyannisport or wherever. And his wife is a twin. Her name's Caroline. So you get the twin, and you get the Kennedy, and you get the fact that he came up. And I don't think it was just a coincidence. His plane went down. Now, everybody will say ooh and ah and say how horrible that was. Can someone tell me that because I was born and Americans kidnapped me and they made heroes out of the Kennedys and the very people that did it to me, and they're still doing it to me, and they can't tell the truth? There was a 99-year seal put on my father, illegal takeout, on my birth, and every law in the book broken, and you say, God bless America, and you talk about freedom. I don't even have freedom to say my name. I don't even have freedom to breathe fresh air. I don't even know if my two sons are alive. And you know, no one's ever said, I'm sorry for what my country's done to you. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. Someone that I thought was a dear friend of mine, and it still hurts, because I thought she was. She left me when they filled me full of antifreeze, April the 1st, 80. I'm not going to say her name. She didn't have to worry about that. The irony was that she had moved out of state, and she happened to be back that week, and I happened to have just enough money to call her mother, and she was there. They were up there that week. She knew about the book I wrote. She is very knowledgeable about the royal family. I mean, you can sit and talk to her about it. She knew totally. And do you think she would come down to the hospital and get me out when they'd fill me full of antifreeze? So over the years, I'm the one that contacted her. And I don't know why I'm saying that now other than it hurt. You find out what people are really like, I guess, don't you? So, I guess that's it.